What's up everyone, this is Tony with JRNY Crypto. Welcome back to another video. So in this one, we're going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to be using Jamboard to write out what we're talking about, and we're going to be going over making $1 million in cryptocurrency, going over a few different things here, different strategies, starting amounts, and some various tips as well. So keep in mind, this is not financial advice and you should not copy any of this. We are just going to be talking about this topic in general and theoretically. So always consult with a professional financial advisor before making any serious investments. So one of the first major determining factors here that we do want to talk about, doing some basic math. Basically, whatever amount you're starting with, to get to $1 million, basically you're going to divide that $1 million by that starting amount. That will give you the multiplier you need. So combining different strategies is going to make it much easier. So basically you're not just relying on your initial investment amount to get to that $1 million flat, but just for example here, let's say your starting amount was $1,000. To get to $1 million for that would be a 1000x. So a 1000x in anything is extremely difficult. I did this, I think just one time, basically with the Bored Ape Yacht Club, getting in on the mint of that, all the airdrops and stuff that came along with that. But to get that 1000x, you basically need to get in on the ground floor on something like that does basically become a major platform in general. And that really only happens to a couple projects in the space. So really being on top of the markets, taking a very high risk with that as well, basically minting any NFT project at the very beginning, or getting into any cryptocurrency closer to the beginning when they don't have much to show is much higher risk, like we have talked about in recent videos. So let's say you're starting with a larger amount of $10,000. So that's going to be a 100x to get to $1 million flats. That, of course, is much easier. In cryptocurrency, it does happen quite often, especially with some of those smaller projects that do become pretty big during the bull market. But that is short-lived as well in general, unless you get into something like Solana or one of these other projects that just continuously grows through each bull market. Getting in early on a project like that's definitely very possible to do a 100x. And then let's say you're starting with a much larger amount of $100,000. That is just a 10x to make it to $1 million. So of course, that's going to be the easiest to do. To play it more safer, you can do something like that, just going into Bitcoin and Ethereum, maybe doing staking with Ethereum or one of these other passive income options, and just dollar cost averaging. Whereas it is going to be harder to do a 100x and nearly impossible to do a 1000x. But by combining different strategies, it is possible to get to $1 million with a initial starting amount of $1,000. But you are going to have to be on top of it. You're going to have to combine different strategies. You're going to have to get lucky. You're going to have to put a lot of time into research. So I do want to talk about that next, these different strategies. So what's great about the Web3 space and cryptocurrency is there's constantly new opportunities coming up. The space is constantly evolving, especially going into a bull market where tons of new companies are launching. There's just a ton of money coming into the space. There is a lot of different opportunity, and there is going to be a lot of opportunity with metaverse as well. Even if you don't have tech experience and stuff, there's going to be an entire economy within these metaverse platforms that is not just crypto or NFT based. There's going to be things needed within these platforms, and basically creating products and services that fulfill these needs. You can be self-employed and create different incomes to that different stuff. We are going to talk about some basic strategies though. The first one being dollar cost averaging, also known as DCA. So dollar cost averaging is good. I do this, I have an altered method of this where I basically DCA on any major market crash or big dip, and I extend this over time. If you're basically consistent with this throughout an entire bear market, since most people get in the bull market, what you want to do is stay around for the bear market and dollar cost average through that. And I do that. I save up basically instead of doing a set date and time and set amounts every 2 weeks or so, or whatever you're doing for your DCA, basically save up until there is a major crash and be ready to buy with the accumulated amount for that period. So with dollar cost averaging, you're adding more to your initial amount consistently over time. So you don't have to get a crazy huge multiplier. That is one of the first strategies here. So over time, that should add more and more as you're learning and as you're implementing different strategies. That should really help. So next thing we're going to talk about is passive income, DeFi, things like staking, basically using your cryptocurrency that you currently have to do something and earn more cryptocurrency with it. So there are different methods. There is lending, there is staking. I like staking personally. Ethereum has staking, which is a pretty good amount. Cardano has staking. ApeCoin has staking. There's a lot of different things that I do have staking. Basically earning a consistent amount of the coin over time while you're holding it anyways. And that is another bonus. Those are generally the cryptocurrencies I like to hold because I am more of a long-term investor in the space and have a much longer outlook on my strategy. So since I'm holding things for so long anyways, then it is nice that you're earning more coins and increasing your bag size over time. So different opportunities within that, putting your cryptocurrency to work basically. And that is what the rich do. Basically, they put their money to work. This is the same thing. You're just putting your crypto to work. Different ways you can do that. And generally, the percentages are pretty good in this space, but that is because it is at a higher risk. And that's with anything in life. The higher risk it is, the higher opportunity chance as well. If there wasn't high risk, then there would be so many people already doing it that the opportunity to make a higher yield is, of course, smaller. So the next one on the list, probably the most popular one, is going to be trading. And there's different forms of trading, different methods. There's short-term, mid, long-term trading. There's leverage trading. There's day trading, which is very popular. A lot of people want to be day traders because they've heard of people doing this with the stock market and Forex, and they think they could come in crypto and do that. And a lot of people do, especially during the bull market when things are skyrocketing and there's different launches and stuff. If you could have different strategies where you're researching and combining that with day trading strategies, some people are really successful with that and swing trading that. But generally, you don't want to be doing that within cryptocurrency unless you're more of a professional and you do understand that stuff with stocks and Forex and stuff. But there's also leverage trading, which pretty much everyone that's new to the space wants to stay away from that because you can get liquidated, very high risk. Basically, you're making a bet in which direction it's going to go up or down. If it goes the opposite of your bets, you can get liquidated if it goes far enough. But if it does go the way you think it's going, whatever multiplier you have set on the amount, some people make crazy amounts in a short period of time doing this. I've seen people doing like $1 million long on Bitcoin and they pull out 10 million or more in a short period of time, because it doesn't have to go up 1,000% to get a 10x on that, depending on what leverage you set. But I would not recommend that for anyone. You can't even do that in the US. So for most people, that's a no. But the primary thing here is long-term trading for me, basically, because as you're doing research and you're picking different projects and you're doing these based on upcoming launches and stuff, that is easier in my opinion. I do some midterm trading in the bull market as well, but short-term trading, very rare unless there is something that I hear about that I like. I jump in it and it goes up a lot. I'll probably pull some profit, take out the initial investment. So short-term trading can be very high risk in cryptocurrency, especially during a bull market when everything is going up. Those really good long-term picks that really have high potential, it's almost better to just hold those long-term. You never know when those coins are going to skyrocket a few 100%, and then you're going to miss out on that position, and it's just the beginning of the bull market. Most likely, you're not going to get another opportunity like that. Personally, I like keeping it simple, stress-free, finding those long-term picks, and just dollar cost averaging those, staking those, not really worrying about short-term, but doing short-term trading, trying to do flips and stuff with a smaller percent of your portfolio. Some people enjoy that and find good success in that. You could try to find a middle ground as well. So trading, obviously that's the one most people are getting into cryptocurrency trying. But for the long-term strategies, passive income and staking is good. Dollar cost averaging is really good. Those two things really help your strategy and your success rate for the long term. So these are the three main things for most people. There's really not much outside of that, but if you do want to explore actually working in the space and being self-employed in the space, it does open other methods as well, like we did talk about with the metaverse. So we're going to write products and services. So this is pretty basic. Find a problem or a need in the cryptocurrency or Web3 space, and then find a solution to it and offer it as a product or service. So these are constantly arising, and as the metaverse comes up, there's going to be thousands of different jobs where you don't even need tech experience and stuff. There's just a need within the metaverse platform for something basic, and if you create a service for that and hire people for that, you could become self-employed and make great money off that. One thing that they did say during the gold rush was it wasn't the people panning for gold that made the most money. It was the people creating the tools and the pans to sell to those that were participating in the gold rush. So if you are looking to be self-employed in Web3, just keep that in mind. If you can solve a major problem or a need in the space, and you can be better than the competition that is also trying to solve it, then you can have a successful business within the space. And then you just have to scale that and continue improving that, and you will do well over time. So there is going to be a lot of opportunity. There is even a lot of opportunity to work with other projects. Even if you want to be a Discord moderator for a Web3 company, there's tons of opportunities like that. So you can work in the space or be self-employed in the space without much experience. If you really are passionate about it and you do really solve a major problem or offer a lot of value. Another good thing, quote I heard recently, something good to keep in mind: as you sow, so shall you reap. I really do think that applies to pretty much anything in life. Basically, the more you put out there, the more you're going to get back. So a quick tip: if you do end up creating a product or service in the Web3 space and you're really not seeing the results you would like, something good to keep in mind here: if you're not happy with what you're getting, then you should focus more on what you're giving. So even if you do have a really good product, there's tons of those out there. Basically, build it and they will come is just not true anymore. If it's something where you have market demand, basically like how OpenSea had, basically they were a monopoly and pretty much everyone had to use them. The competitors just didn't come close. Now they are falling because they aren't making improvements, and they got used to that monopoly effect that they had on the space. So now they will have to adapt if they do want to survive. So a good thing to keep in mind here, if you have a product or service in the space and you're not seeing good results, is to create a free version of the product or service, get content out there, show videos, create guides, using the content, providing free value, showing that you know what you're talking about and the product or service is good. By providing some free level of free value, then it's much more likely that people will come and actually use and purchase your product or service after that, and it will help a lot with marketing as well. So that is a good tip there if you do end up creating a product or service. So next one on this list is going to be content creation, basically what I'm doing right now. But like I said, with products and services, that applies into products and services. If you can provide free content showing that you're solving the problem and that you have a good product and service, that's going to help a lot, or create a free version of the product and service. But content creation in general is something you could do without a product and service as well and still make decent money on. For example, X, what used to be Twitter, they now have monetization, and basically the more impressions you get, the more you can earn per month on that. So the payments on that I've seen are pretty low overall, but if you do create good threads, you're providing good value to people out there, and you start getting millions of impressions, you can make a decent side income on that. That in combination with YouTube, a blog, any other form of content. There's people that are just doing TikToks now and Instagram videos, any form of content, or you can create content for other companies and projects out there. If you're just good at editing or something, you can apply those services and help someone else with that service. So there is a lot of opportunity in content creation. I think with Metaverse coming as well, there's going to be a lot of opportunity to earn some income doing content creation, creating things within Otherside and other Metaverse platforms. So that is good, something to do as well, especially if you have a product and service. Do some content creation, showing and providing some free value that relates to that product and service. But of course, this isn't for everyone. If you don't enjoy creating content, it does take a lot to actually get the necessary amount of views to make that a full-time living. And that can be distracting from your other work or your other methods up here with dollar cost averaging, trading, and doing research and stuff. But if you're doing that kind of stuff anyways and you enjoy doing content creation, then creating content around that could be pretty simple as well. But you can do content creation for something else completely, whatever hobby you have. If you actually create good content for that, especially the opportunities using AI now. We started using AI within our company, and the amount of media and content we're creating is scaling massively. We're seeing a massive increase in impressions overall and everything. Over the next couple months, we actually have some new things we're implementing. I'm excited to try as well. So that is one thing you could do. But if you want to be self-employed, solving a basic problem or just working for someone else, helping them solve that basic problem, you could even do things like be a Discord mod. You don't want to be too involved with the space. You don't want to take on the risk and the work to create a product or service. Just find a job with someone else, something like that. But these three things up here obviously are going to be those main things that most people are going to be doing. Actually, trading is the thing that most people do here that get into cryptocurrency, especially during the bull market. People relate it to stocks and other stuff, and then they want to jump in. They do a couple good trades, and then they think like they're going to make this a full-time job and basically day trade and make millions of dollars. But very few people actually pull that off unless you have a crazy initial investment and you're constantly dollar cost averaging on top of that. But combining all of these things can be even better, but time management is important for that as well. You don't want to be wasting too much time. If you have a job outside of this that makes good money, that you could even put more time into that instead, and that's already making a set amount per hour or whatever, then that's probably better to do just to earn more to dollar cost average with in general. But these are some different strategies. And then, like we said, the last one here I'm going to just write is metaverse, because that will create a ton of new jobs overall. So I really think that metaverse is going to take this to a whole new level through this next bull market. Tons of opportunity and tons of awesome experiences and jobs that should come from that between dozens of different platforms. We've been really preparing for this, and we're creating our new JRNY Club profile pic sets with metaverse in mind. We do want to create 3D models or avatars for that right away. So that's where a big focus for me is for 2024 is metaverse. We've been dollar cost averaging other side land a lot, primarily rare resources and artifacts that we're already putting to use in the Legends of the Mar game, earning hundreds of different NFT parts for the platform. So we're going to have a heavy position right off the bat in that. We already have over 1% of other side land, and we really want to be everywhere with that. And when you actually think of that, 1% is 1 in 100. So 1 in 100 pieces of land that you're traveling through is going to be a JRNY Club piece of land. That is going to be massive for exposure with a peak potential metaverse platform like other side. If that gets to 50 million plus daily active users and we have over 1% and we're everywhere, that's going to be insane. We also want to create a few games within other side and develop the land as much as possible, create some awesome experiences for JRNY Club members. This is what I'm most excited for, and I do think other side and Sandbox will be live to some degree within 2024. Probably not the true potential that a metaverse platform should be, but at least something, in my opinion, especially going into a bull market. These companies will feel pressured to have some sort of product out because they have cryptos and NFTs and stuff, but I'm going to do more content going over what my plan is for that and what I'm doing and everything. But it's definitely a huge opportunity there. If you guys do want to work in the Web3 space, that's something good to prepare for, in my opinion. So we're just quickly going to go through some tips here before I end the video, since it is getting pretty long. But let me know if you guys like this style of video with writing. I do like doing this style, especially with guides. So first tip here is don't FOMO. And that's pretty basic. FOMO just stands for fear of missing out. You don't want to act out on emotion in this space. That's generally going to be a bad decision. So fear of missing out, you're going to feel that FOMO when everyone's buying and the markets are in a bull market and we're at peak prices. Everyone's saying Bitcoin's going to go to 500,000. We're already at new all-time highs, buying there, and then things crash. Like Warren Buffett says, be greedy when others are fearful and fearful when others are greedy. Doing that in general, consistently over time with dollar cost averaging is generally a pretty good strategy. So combining different strategies as well is definitely good. So next tip here is just going to be staying consistent and sticking to your plan overall. So that's another tip, is create a plan that you can stick to, but create a plan that you think is good for you. You can alter it on the way and make adjustments to it, but really it's important to stay consistent and stick to that plan long term through the bear markets as well. Is definitely going to give you a much higher success rate. So my next major tip is just be ahead of the herd. So this is pretty self-explanatory. You're just trying to be ahead and be first of where the masses are going. If you're talking about within cryptocurrency, find the niche or category like AI or gaming, where the masses are going to be headed and what's going to be most popular within crypto during the next bull market. And then do the research, find the small projects and everything, diversify, figure that out. And being ahead of the herd for anything can present a life-changing opportunity. I'll probably do an entire separate video just talking about that. So my next tip is to keep learning. So this space is constantly evolving and developing. This technology is changing very quickly. So if you want to stay on top of it, you have to keep learning. A good way to do that is just keep up on the news. Try to keep up and be ahead of the herd, like I said, and learn that stuff ahead of time. Be involved with the communities and the news in general and social media, and you can continuously learn like that. Don't stop learning just because you became somewhat successful. If you do want to be successful and stay successful, you need to keep learning in this space and adapting, pivoting, and learning. So that is very important. And my last tip for today is just don't get scammed. Pretty self-explanatory, but you'd be surprised. Some veterans in this space, they start slacking and they end up getting scammed for whatever reason. They click a bad link, they connect to something bad, they sign a bad transaction. This happens to the best of us in the space, so just be very careful. There's a lot of different tips you can find on watching out for scams, but I would even use separate devices. Use a cold wallet for your cryptocurrencies and NFTs that you aren't actively trading with. Some people just keep their stuff on exchanges and have 2FA on that for security, but yeah, make sure that you learn as much as you can about security in the space, especially if you're holding your own crypto. A good way to just do that is have a hardware wallet, use it as your cold wallet. Don't connect it to anything. When you do want to trade something or do something with it, then send it from that wallet to a hot wallet and then do the trades or connect and do your whatever you need to do from the hot wallet to avoid that risk. So then if that wallet does connect to something bad, then the other wallet, the cold wallet, isn't compromised. So splitting things up, being diversified is a good way to get started, but just watch out for everything out there. There's scams around every corner in this space, and they're only getting more advanced with AI, so you have to be very careful. There is some very tricky stuff out there, and they really try to get people with impersonating other people, other projects, and upcoming mints especially are highly targeted. People constantly impersonate me and message people on Instagram and stuff, and people do fall for it, unfortunately, but that's just how it goes in the space. Because security is very difficult still, the tech does need to keep growing, and we do need to have services that make people feel safer and have insurances and stuff, but that will come with time in the space. Overall, though, just be very careful. You don't want to try really hard in space and get a bunch of success and then end up getting scammed. So these are just my basic tips for right now. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video in general, but quick recap here. If you're trying to get to $1 million in cryptocurrency, You're going to want to implement different strategies together, tailor your own strategy, what you like to do based on what time you have, how much you have to put in and stuff. And just stay on top of things in general. And then based on your initial amount, you can see basic amounts and get a general idea of how good you need to do in the space to pull off that $1 million based on your starting amount. But dollar cost averaging, you're adding consistently to it. Passive income staking, you're adding more coins to your bags, doing different forms of trading, which is most popular in the space, and even branching out if you really like the space and you want to work in it full time, creating products and services, doing content creation, developing in the metaverse. So many different opportunities here and different things that you can do. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video overall, and I'll see you guys in the next one.